Welcome back to All Things Brewers. It's a weekly recap. It's a little bit late. I wanted the Padres series to end, and I was busy yesterday. So that explains that. Lose 2 out of 3 to the Padres. We're just going to get straight into it. You lose the first two. You salvage the series by winning game 3. But you lose 2 out of 3 to a team that doesn't have Fernando Tatis and that could be a potential postseason matchup coming up. Like, all craziness aside, the Brewers essentially have the 1 seed locked up, unless they get swept by the Reds and the Phillies sweep whoever they're playing. The magic number is 1 for Milwaukee to get the 1 seed. So you're playing San Diego or Chicago in the NLDS. How much does this series really mean going forward? I don't know. I really don't. Because the Brewers aren't at full strength. The Padres weren't at full strength. The Brewers aren't hitting right now. You have Chourio, Terang, and Frelick are all on very cold stretches, especially Chourio. And Woodruff's out, Quintana's out, McGill was still out. He should be back in this Cincinnati series, get an inning or two under his belt before October. He threw a bullpen the other day. He was feeling good, supposedly. He's probably back. He might even pitch tonight against Cincinnati. We'll see. It's tough to take anything away from this series. It really is, because San Diego is still technically playing for something. Milwaukee is but isn't. I think they kind of just assume they'll win the games they need to win to secure the 1 seed. They kind of feel like they checked out a couple weeks ago. I don't know if that's just me, but it feels like they've kind of just been like, we're good enough that the 1 seed is going to be ours, so we don't need to, fuss about it all that much. This team has not inspired a lot of confidence recently, and primarily it's with the offense. Like I said, 3 guys that are supposed to be a part of your engine, guys that get on, guys that run, create problems for the defense, create problems for the pitching staff of the opposing team in Chourio, Terang, and Frelick, all been swinging noodles lately. Frelick's still having good at bats. I think Terang has. I'm less worried about Terang, is how I would put it, just because I think he has the higher floor between him and Chourio. Frelick, the process is still fine, so eventually you're going to find some holes. Some of those hits are going to start falling like they have been all year. Chourio, the at bats have looked tough. I'm not going to lie. The at bats have looked tough. It looks like he's not seeing the ball all that well. He's already a guy that's prone to not having the best feel for the zone. I hope that getting this week-ish off helps. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if it's a process thing. If he's just tired. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't look like himself, and he's kind of a guy that things can get really ugly really quick. He's also a guy though that if his swing is on, he's the best hitter on this team. He really is. If all is going well for him, we saw what he did even in just 3 games in the postseason last year. So I'm cautiously optimistic about Chourio kind of getting back on the right track. Terang and Frelick as well. And I guess it's, the worry about getting the bye is that you lose your timing, your swing, your rhythm, whatever it is, and you kind of come back after that week off and you don't have it. The Brewers don't have much to lose in that realm right now. They haven't been swinging the bats all that well, so I don't think that the bye is going to hurt their rhythm. I think it can only help, especially because it gives a chance for some of their pitchers to maybe get healthy. We don't know what Woodruff or Quintana's timetable is like. Like I said, McGill should be back. This is the lovely Miss Orange. Hello, darling. What do you think about this Padres series? Yeah, she's fine. Um, but losing 2 out of 3. Granted, you were on the road, and San Diego's a tough place to play. But Tatis isn't there. Bogarts is just coming off the IL. Jackson Merrill hadn't been swinging the best bat coming into this series either. He had a homer in the last game. Good for him. But it's tough to make any conclusions based on this series. It really is, because I don't know where the Brewers stand right now. I don't know what foot they're trying to put forward. If they're trying to win all these games, if they wanted to make a push for 100 wins, that's gone now. I don't know. It feels, something feels off, and I think it's just the daunting nature of the National League in the playoffs is like really worrying me, because any one of those teams that ends up making it could realistically go on a run and win it all. And I wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, if Cincinnati sneaks into the back end of the postseason and makes a run, I would be surprised, in that I didn't expect Cincinnati to make the postseason. But they have the starting pitching. Some of their bats could, run into something. Ellie's found his power stroke again recently, so you never know what you could get out of Cincinnati if they make the playoffs. But the NL is going to be a dogfight. It really is, and the Brewers aren't playing the best baseball going into it. I really, really hope that getting a few days off, lining up your starters, maybe playing some simulated games, gets the bats going. Like, the chance to just like take a deep breath and get right, I hope, is kind of how it works out. You never know. I think pitching wise, not knowing what Woodruff's status is going to be, you're probably looking at Peralta game 1 is a given, no matter what. And then I think Priester game 2. And then past that, you don't know. I mean, obviously, if Woodruff's healthy, he gets game 2, pushes Priester to game 3, and then maybe you can even get Peralta going for game 4. But it's all but confirmed from Pat Murphy that Jacob Mizorowski's not going to be starting in the postseason. We won't be seeing him start, which I think is good, to just set that expectation not only for him, but for the fans too, so that, if the Brewers go down 0-2 in the division series, I could see there being a clamoring for like, give the kid the ball, like, let him shove, let's see what he's got. I don't want to put that on him. I don't think you need to put that on him. I think he provides the most value as a bullpen piece right now, as somebody who you can deploy when you just want to blow guys away, because he's very capable of doing that for an inning or two. As long as you keep the walks down and you just go in and throw your best stuff for 2 innings, I think that's the perfect role for him right now. But what do you get out of game 3 if Quintana and Woodruff are still not healthy? You get Chad Patrick. Does Chad Patrick start a game? Does Tobias Myers start a game? We saw what he did last year in the postseason. He had one of the best starts of his life in game 3 of the wild card series last year. I don't know what the starting rotation is going to look like. The bullpen, I mean, Shelby Harris is down for good, but other than that, it should be back to essentially full strength. And then Uribe, who's done a fantastic job filling in for Trevor McGill, will slide back to the 8th inning. McGill can take back over the 9th, and that's daunting. Like, that maybe doesn't have the name value that you would look for, and definitely doesn't have the same kind of, like, the Brewers bullpen doesn't have the same fear that like the Padres bullpen does, because that's just a whole different animal. And the Padres starting pitching has the high ceiling too. And we saw like Dylan Cease had a pretty good start in game 3, but Dylan Cease also had a start in the 3rd game of this series that could have gone very south very quick. Like, the Brewers were getting guys on, they were moving guys over, they just weren't hitting with scoring position, and that was with runners in scoring position, sorry, and that was kind of a theme throughout these last 3 games. So, is that Dylan Cease working out of things? Is that the Brewers just not getting timely hitting? Who's to say? You've got 1 series left. You're at home, and you're against the Cincinnati Reds, who are playing for their season. Like, they're playing for their lives. You have a chance to play spoiler. I don't have any ill will towards Cincinnati, and I really don't have a rooting interest between New York or Cincinnati to get this sixth spot in the postseason. Either whoever gets it is gonna have to play the Dodgers, and don't envy anybody that has to play the Dodgers in the postseason. So we'll see. Um, I think if you're the Brewers, you still pitch your guys. You still run out your what's going to essentially be your postseason lineup because there's no incentive not to. Like your starters will get to rest no matter what. Like you don't play again till I think it's October 4th. This is the start of the division series, regardless of outcome. So you have every incentive to get your guys a last handful of at bats, get your pitchers their last handful of innings, and try and end the season on a good note. You've tied your franchise record for wins. You're one win away from guaranteeing the one seed. Cincinnati doesn't control their own destiny anymore. If the season ended today, the Mets would be in the playoffs. So Cincinnati is very much going to come out swinging. Like they need to win these games much more than Milwaukee needs to win these games. So I don't know. I hope the Brewers can get right in their off days. I hope that they get right in this series. Honestly, like I want to see it on the field before the postseason starts because if the Brewers let's look at it this way. If the Brewers look flat in this series, then you have to spend the next week or so just hoping they get it together while we don't get to behind closed doors, right? Like I want to see them look good against a Cincinnati team who is very much built for the postseason. Like starting pitching wins postseason series, and the Cincinnati Reds have starting pitching. They have an abundance of starting pitching and very daunting starting pitching. So, like, swing the bats. Hopefully, you can put some runs up and maybe kind of get some mojo back going into the playoffs. Like they've been like about a 500 team for the last few weeks, and that's fine. And they're gonna get the one seed, and like everything's okay, but it's not the most reassuring, right? So we'll see what happens. Um, I just want the guys to get back to hitting the ball, and I want to not go out in the NLDS. Like all credit to San Diego, they look great, especially missing all around probably their best player. I think Machado's their best hitter, but when you factor in the defense and everything, Tatis is their best player. So without him on the field, to still take 2 of 3, good for San Diego. Milwaukee plays at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock Central. My bad. I live on the East Coast, so who cares about Central Time? I think Caleb Durbin's going to go 3 for 4, and Churio is going to hit 2 homers tonight. That's my prediction. Fellas are going to get it together. Of course they are. I need to stop worrying. But last weekly review of the season, I'll see you right before the DS starts, and we'll have a little series preview. So go Brewers. Please, please get right. Please get right.